Hey there, wanted to talk real quick about knowing your numbers. We've had a lot of people contact us recently about SMS as their primary method, and at one point we're really rocking along with it, getting a whole lot of deals. And over time they started getting less and less deals. And just wanted to point out a couple of things that we've found that looking at data has been pretty informative. So on any type of skip trace list that we've seen, it comes back, whether it's 10,000 or 10 million, it doesn't matter. Only about 45% of the properties will come back with a mobile number, and that allows for SMS. The other 45% come back with landlines with no mobile phone, and then we have 10% down here that come back with no phones at all. That's either emails or no data. So what that tells us is if you're trying to buy data, only half of your list is ever good, but you have to buy the whole list. So we just put together some quick costs to try to make it make more sense. If you buy a property address from somewhere, a list source or any of these other providers, and you pay a penny for it, and then you have to get it skip traced. So this is all raw at 16 cents. If you were to pay 16 cents per property to have it skip traced, and at 10,000, only half of those are going to be usable inside an SMS system. So that makes it, you're not paying 16 cents, you're now paying 32 cents. 36 cents, sorry. So what that tells us is now you have all the numbers to go into your system as raw data. As you send them SMS messages, they reply back and tell you that they've got wrong numbers, block, take me off your list or whatever. So what that's telling you is you sent off a property address and they sent you back a phone number. So in the SMS case or in the mobile landlines, what's going to end up happening is half your phone numbers are going to turn into no data. So what that means is these property addresses over here went from having phone numbers that you could contact to now you can no longer send them messages. And of course what that does is it takes your cost per prospect, which is up here that has a mobile number, and doubles it. So you're now at 72 cents per prospect to be inside your SMS system. Well, that's okay, right? I mean, everybody, it's the cost of doing business. You buy a lot of data and you only start texting, you're now down to less than 20, somewhere close to 20% of your entire list. Well, that also goes into effect for mobiles. As you're dialing, you get wrong numbers and disconnected, just old data. So now your list starts shrinking. But the thing to look at is if we were to take any zip code, and let's just say that there are 50,000 properties total in that zip code. Half the properties aren't going to qualify your buying criteria. They may be one bedrooms or condos or just parcels that are owned by the government, whatever. So you're left with just, in this example, 25,000 houses. Well, now if you're looking to add 10,000 properties to your SMS or RVM campaign, there aren't enough properties. If half of them just weren't good to begin with, and you're only allowed 25,000, to get a list of usable product, you're going to have to buy the entire county, and that only works one time. You can't sit here and buy the county over and over and over because, there are only X amount of houses. So what people end up doing is going to more cities, more counties, and expanding, but they lose track of they're having to buy all of these numbers, and their cost is not a penny. It starts running up. So what we decided to do was try to figure out how to look at data in big data sets and identify the properties that are now over here. The cold calling has the same thing. As you go through, you find out that some of the numbers you dial are wrong. So if you take those off, those cold call are the ones that you were putting in your dialer are now no data. Well, of course, list stacking or data stacking would mean any list you buy, you put it on top of each other, and then you can identify what properties are in your system multiple times. Well, those properties that fall out over here mean that people are not able to call them. So if you were to use an alternative method to identify these properties, or even these, less people are able to contact them. I know that my drawings are horrible, but it's the logic that's trying to relay the message of your pool of people you're able to SMS is really small in comparison to the whole list. After you look at that, you start seeing that out of this, everybody can contact up here. So if they have dialers, if they have SMS, or if they have direct mail, these are the properties that are hit the hardest. Down here, these are not being contacted by telephone, and this is data that you have by using your blacklist or any type of, like Inside Mojo, you can identify bad numbers. So by removing it, here is what everybody is looking for and trying to spend money buying, properties over and over and over, and they're in their system already. They just don't have a way of being able to contact them or a way to be able to prioritize them. So I hope that makes sense. Anybody can receive direct mail for the whole list because there's a mailing address. The people that have SMS, every single investor anywhere in the country can send them a text message or an RVM. Down here, anybody that can cold call them. The people without valid telephone numbers, that's your new niche list. And that's stuff you already have, you just need to be able to identify it. If you have any questions or like talking about data, man, reach out to me. I do it every day. Thanks.